These days we're going to be searching at real existence curses and the poor people that suffered as a end result. Let's get on with it, taking off this countdown. We've got Nighttime Mary. The Evergreen Cemetery in New Haven is known for being domestic to one of the maximum cursed graves from Nighttime Mary. Is living there, aka Mary E. Hart. Mary seemingly handed away in 1872 below unusual situations. At the same time as on her grave it reads, "The humans shall be anxious at the hours of darkness and by skip away." It is believed that Mary turned into a witch and proper earlier than she died. She cursed her grave. So in case you go to her grave at nighttime, the curse turns into lively and you may die. In our ninth spot we've got the cursed mummy. Now that is an eerie legend that has been used. Guilty the sinking of the large. Rumor has it that a painted timber mummy board of an unknown girl turned into it the large in transit to some other museum. Formerly it turned into saved on the British Museum. They obtained it in 1889. However, it brought about bizarre matters to take place at the museum. Personnel might pay attention. Loud banging coming from the artifact and deep sadness to anybody who got here in touch with it. It has also been blamed for demise, infection, accidents and bankruptcies. One nighttime a museum protect died mysteriously and absolutely each person blamed the mum, so the museum desired to get rid of it as fast as feasible. As an end result, an American archaeologist took the mum on board with him at the large. So now it is concept that having the cursed mummy on board is what brought about the deliver to sink coming in at quantity 8. We've got the voodoo curse in overdue. August of 2006 a person named Franz Boers went loopy and took the lives of his earlier than taking his very own. And his very last observed he wrote that he turned into cursed and that a person turned into the usage of voodoo to make him devote those crimes that a person turned into his fiancée's spouse and children. Seemingly they had been torturing him with voodoo cruises looking to wreck him. They failed to count on him to turn out to be killing his with inside the manor. That night time he drowned them with inside the bath earlier than leaping in the front of a teach. In our 7th spot we have Rasputin. Russian mystic and self-proclaimed holy guy Rasputin ended up passing away in a horrible manner. In truth, he failed to die at once. It took a quantity of tries earlier than he without a doubt died. Seemingly he turned into poison driven down a few stairs. He took some of bullets to his frame, after which he drowned, and it's whilst he subsequently handed. But he mumbled a curse as he turned into loss of life. This curse turned into positioned at the monarchs. He stated that every one of Russia's ruling monarchs might all be lifeless inside of 12 months, and his curse got here proper that equal 12 months all of the Romanov-owned circle of relatives monarchs had been brutally murdered. Rasputin's loss of life. One got here proper transferring on quantity 6. We've got the haunted grave site. The maximum haunted grave website online in Japan is stated to belong to a rich samurai named Tara no Masakato. He died on March 25, 940 from a beheading, and ever considering then he has been haunting his gravesite. In 1923 after Tokyo turned into struck through the Kanto earthquake, the authorities moved his monument and the Minister of Finance began out to construct a brand new constructing in that spot in which it used to live. However, inside days he turned into hospitalized through unusual infection. He died after 3 months in the health center and no person is aware of why his fitness hastily began out to say no. However, he wasn't the simplest one. 14 humans from the Development Corporation died mysteriously as properly, so it is believed that his gravesite is cursed and people that disturb it'll go through the outcomes. We are now at our 5th and midway mark with the West Department witch. That is some other tombstone stated to be haunted through a witch. It turned into first determined in 1960 through a person named B.A. Evans. It turned into 355 determined after he bought a chunk of land on his new plot. He later determined that there has been a small cemetery on it. The cemetery contains 7 gravestones surrounded through a 40-inch wall. The gravestones are seemingly from a own circle of relatives named the Elliots. Now the gravestone that receives the maximum attention is that of Clemenza. Clemenza turned into seemingly killed through a collection of townspeople after being accused of witchcraft. As an end result, she turned into pressed to demise. To these days, her grave is marked through a pile of stones that rests on pinnacle of it. Now it is stated that she haunts the graveyard and the encircling region. In truth, on her tombstone is a curse that says, "Bear in mind kids, as you skip through as you're now, so as soon as turned into I as I'm now. So should you be put together for demise, and follow me now in case you study that out loud through her grave. She can be able to seemingly reason you harm, but the maximum risky issue you could do might be to take a few stones from her grave seemingly one night time. A collection of children took stones from her grave that night time. All of them died on their manor domestic in a vehicle coincidence. Besides, for the only kid that failed to take a stone, he turned into the lone survivor. In our 4th spot we've got Mary the Witch. Right here we've got some other witch named Mary and some other cursed tombstone. In 1731, and vintage gravesite in New Jersey were given a brand new resident Mary Moore, a nearby girl accused of being a witch. It's due to the fact she dressed abnormal, grew unusual plants in her backyard, and will make animals do a few quite unusual matters. So whilst Mary died, it turned into stated that she cursed her grave. Seemingly, in case you stroll round Mary's grave 3 instances a night time and spit her spirit will seem to you the simplest trouble is that her grave turned into without a doubt stolen numerous years in the past. 2 boys stole the tombstone, however through doing so unleashed the curse of Mary. They both died rapidly afterwards. In our third spot, we've got St. Anne's properly. St. Anne's properly in Liverpool used to be pretty a mystical region, like pretty actually it turned into believed to possess magical restoration powers. If humans bathed with inside the properly, it'd cleanse their sins, heal their pores and skin, and treatment diseases that turned into till it were given cursed. So story is going that a nearby priest were given into an argument with a person who owns a number of the land close to the properly. As a end result, he positioned a curse at the land proprietor, his own circle of relatives, and the properly. Rapidly after the land proprietor's son died and he misplaced maximum of his wealth, he then turned into later determined lifeless proper on the foot of the properly. In our second spot, we've got Rosemary's Toddler, now that is stated to be one of the maximum cursed films ever made.